Good day. It is Wellness Wednesday from Greystone Chiropractic, and you're on Chiro TV. This is Dr. Lee TV. I'm coming to you live from the office today because I wanted to talk a little bit about the safety pin cycle. I don't know if I've talked about this with you in the past, and this is a really cool concept to explain how the brain and body communicate effectively when there's no interference, especially in the neck. So if you think about what the brain, and I know this is backwards, but you can understand just from the picture of a safety pin, right? So closed safety pin, that means there's good communication, there's a good loop between the brain and all of the body functions, right? The proper alignment, the proper position. Signals can go up and down. That means signaling to the organ and signaling back up to the brain, called afferent communication back to the brain. As soon as you have a misalignment, within 2 weeks, this disconnection happens. Afferent signaling from organ to brain is reduced. That means the signals coming from the organ back up to the brain are reduced and altered. And then the signals coming from the brain to the organs get irritated and changed. So it causes malfunction, dis-ease, abnormal functioning to the body, miscommunication. So our goal is to correct that connection so the brain and body connect and stay connected well. Some of the research that talks about this really focuses on the curve of the neck. Yes, you should have a nice smooth C-shaped curve here. And if it's not, if it's falling forward and causing either a straightness of the neck or a reverse in the curve, which is even worse, it can cause myriad of health issues. So some of the research I've got right here on paper. Since 1975, we've known this. And then they redid it in 82 and 96. They found loss of cervical curve, meaning a forward position of the head, causes reduced lung capacity. Well, who is not thinking about that right now with what's going on in our world? Lung capacity can increase with proper alignment and better adjustments by more than 30%, which is awesome and important for right now. Loss of cervical curve, they've known this since 1979. CORE did a study. Loss of cervical curve, neck curve, causes a weak immune system. Organ disease, muscle tension, we all know that. Increased sensitivity to pain. So when we're already in pain and this happens, it's causing us to be more sensitive to it. So it increases that thing, and we don't concentrate on the other things that are important. All we think about is the perpetual pain or dysfunction that we feel, which is a problem. Journal of Bone and Joint Surgery in 1981 talked about deviation of the spinal curve, meaning a loss of the curve, like I keep talking about. And kyphosis, meaning this hump in the upper back that everyone on a cell phone these days has, and the kids on the video games are perpetuating. This actually increases mortality, means you die sooner. 14 years sooner for many of these people in this study. So you might think, oh, I don't care about the last 14 years. Well, tell me that when you're on your last couple of years, that you couldn't use another 14 years with your great-grandkids or your grandkids or your kids. I mean, that's important stuff. And it's very simple to reconnect this by coming in for regular adjusting, to take care of it, not to treat the pain, but to take care of your body, because that's good for you. Loss of neck curve result in altering mental signals, brain signalings, input from the organ to the brain, primarily from the upper neck, which I always talk about, atlas and axis, right? Leading to eventual disturbance in gait, which means walking, dizziness, loss of balance, vertigo, ataxia. These are things, movement issues. They've known this since 2001 in the neurology journal from India, December 2001. They've known this forever, and people a lot of times come to us with vertigo or dizziness or problems moving. I mean, people with Parkinson's, let's say. A lot of times these things have developed because brain-body disconnect. This has been going on for many, many years. Disconnect. And so we got to just reconnect it, get them adjusted, get them under regular wellness care. Then they found another study in 87. Rene Caillet did a study, loss of neck curve causes constipation. Well, how important is it to eliminate regularly? Forward head posture can add up to 30 pounds of abnormal leverage on the spine, causing additional strain and spinal misalignment and postural deviation to the entire spine. This is why I say when you come in with low back pain, it's not just your low back when I see that your neck is starting the problem. Think about this. This adds 45 to 55, maybe 60 pounds of extra head weight. Well, how's the rest of the spine going to deal with that? It's got to work a lot harder. So eventually the low back starts hurting and you're like, oh, my low back hurts. But is it really your low back that's the problem? So we got to look at the whole and not just the pain. So they found that the entire gastrointestinal system is affected by this signal coming from here. the very top of the neck. Then they found in the 70s loss of neck curve and thoracic curve, basically this extra curve going on here, causes neurological disturbance. That means nerve disruption to the heart, lungs, and digestive system. Again, that was in 1975. That's not new information. That's almost 45 years, or it is 45 years. That's been around forever. So we need to really act on the things that we've known about from the beginning. And the other study I'd like to point out, cervical curve corrective adjustments increase the patient's ability to aerate the lungs, meaning you breathe better. We already knew that, but this confirms it in 1991. Brene did that study. It also improves vital capacity and immune activity. Well, I've got about 8 or 10 different studies that show the immune system is affected in a good way by correcting this misalignment, disconnection, correcting the brain signaling, and keeping the body healthy. So obviously we need that right now. We all do. Whether it's a pandemic or not, you need to keep your immune system strong. Going back to school or not going back to school, it's all very relevant in our time. So make sure you get adjusted. Make sure you stay well adjusted. Don't wander off for 3 months and then think that your body's going to stay healthy. Get in and stay well. So if you need to, if you're not on the books, call us or text us, 205-981-8090. We'll get you in for a great wellness adjustment. If you've never been in, I don't know why you're waiting. Call me and we'll get started. Thanks so much. I'll see you at Greystone Chiropractic.